seen is Kevin Liptek. How is the administration responding to this?
បាបកម្មមានពិតក្លឹបបាល់ទាត់ Leicester City ដែលមានម្ចាស់ជា
ខ្ញុំហ្មងខ្ញុំក៏ថាកាលឡើងមកពីគ្រួសារខ្ញុំមកនិយាយពីសុផុសសាហាវទាំងប្តីទាំងម៉ាក់ប្រកា
Japanese football is so underrated, and the best thing is you can watch it for free. See football fans around the world.
ខ្ញុំគិតថាអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាប្រហែលជាដឹងខ្លាំងហើយតែអត់ថាឥឡូវគេនាំគ្នាល្បីនិយាយរឿងយំពួននឹងខ្លាំងណាស់ហើយចំឆ្នាំនឹងឆ្នាំផ្សេងទៀតភ្លើងទៅយកពួនភ្លើងបែបនេះខ្ញុំនាំមកឆ្នាំនេះទៅស្គាល់កីឡាករ
មើលហ្នឹងឥឡូវហ្នឹងបើមានប្តីមានប្រពន្ធអស់ឥឡូវមានអីមកហើយ
Do you think Australia should adopt New Zealand as a...
So, you're a massive fan of Crip?
I don't know if you guys remember.
We will make it clear once again that ICE will not be able to enter New York City property.
This was taken in Tel Aviv 6 hours.
All right, so you know my story. If not, I recommend watching.
នៅក្នុងសេចក្តីប្រកាសព័ត៌មានចុះថ្ងៃទី6កុម្ភៈក្រសួងសុខាភិបាលកម្ពុជាបានណែនាំឲ្យពលរដ្ឋប្រុងប្រយ័ត្នខ្ពស់ចំពោះការឆ្លងជំងឺស៊ីតាកូស៊ីសតាមក្រសួងសួស្តីពុកម៉ែបងប្អូនអ្នកនរគ្នាបတ်អញ្ចឹងសោះបង David សោមវាឈឺៗណាស់ចាំខ្ញុំ
This was taken in... Very briefly, you wrote an op-ed last year saying the Israeli military should be given a...
维护开放包
អបអរសាទរព្រះខ័នរាជស្វាយរៀងទទួលបាន3ពិន្ទុពីម្ចាស់ផ្ទះ Lion City ដោយលទ្ធផល
Okay, so this is absolutely insane and it's happening right now in real time.
ចារកម្មលោកខាងលិចបានប្រមានថាអ៊ីរ៉ង់កំពុងបងច្រៀងលួសខ្លួនចារកម្មលោកខាងលិចបានប្រមានថាអ៊ីរ៉ង់កំពុងបំពាក់អាវុធឡើងវិញទោះបីជាមានទណ្ឌកម្មពីអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិក៏ដោយមានជំនួយពីប្រទេសចិនហើយអ៊ីរ៉ង់បានបង្កើនកិច្ចខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងដើម្បីកសាងសមត្ថភាពមីស៊ីលផ្លូវរបស់ខ្លួនឡើងវិញតាមរយៈការដឹកជញ្ជូនសារធាតុគីមីជាច្រើនពីប្រទេសចិនដោយទទួលបានសារធាតុសូរ៉ូយ៉ូមជាង 2000 តោនចាប់តាំងពីចុងខែកញ្ញា 2025 មកការដឹកជញ្ជូនទាំងនេះដែលត្រូវបានតាមដានដោយភ្នាក់ងារស៊ើបការសម្ងាត់អឺរ៉ុបតំណាងឲ្យការបង្កើនល្បឿនគួរឲ្យកត់សម្គាល់នៃការកសាងឡើងវិញនៅយោធារបស់អ៊ីរ៉ង់បន្ទាប់ពីការខាត់បងយ៉ាងធ្ងន់ធ្ងរក្នុងកំឡុងសង្គ្រាម12ថ្ងៃជាមួយអ៊ីស្រាអែលនៅក្នុងខែមិថុនា 2025 នេះពេលកន្លងមកបើយោងតាមការចុះផ្សាយរបស់បងច្រៀងលួសខ្លួន
This movie hits a little different now.
We're not just ordinary people there. If I told you their names, I'm not going to tell you their names, but if I did, I don't think you'd sleep so easy.
Oh yeah, and Stanley Kubrick, the director of that movie, he mysteriously died right after filming it. This movie hits a little different now.
Amazon reported earnings and the stock just got crushed, you guys. I mean, if they had reported their earnings in any other different era, I think they would not have done as bad. But because they reported earnings during a time where investors have a lot of fear, man, the stock just got clobbered. It went down more than 10% in a single day, and it missed out on its earning per share criteria, which the way I like to think about earning per share is the amount of money that they bring in after paying the employees, paying the rent, paying the expenses, the electricity bill, all that jazz. And they missed out on that part because they had unexpected expenses coming in. Now, do I like Amazon in the future? I do. It's just that I like a lot more companies before I buy Amazon. And as a result, seeing this earnings, it just kind of showed me that stock market right now and the rest of the year, there just seems to be a lot of fear right now. And I have no problem buying stocks into fear and extreme, people want to sell it off. But man, this is crazy amount. And the speed at which these stocks are dropping is crazy fast.
I was watching the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. India comes on the screen. 2 athletes. Biggest country in the world. 2 athletes. How is that possible? And before you're like, oh, it's hot. They got mountains over there. 2 athletes. They've never made the World Cup. How? They've never made the World Cup, and that's happened. Obviously, that's happening this summer for soccer, football. They've never made a World Cup. Not once. Not even a 2 athletes.
Wow.
Breaking news as Pete Hegseth is too stupid to resign, which is what he should be doing now, as we have confirmation that he has committed war crimes in the Caribbean, thanks to the excellent reporting by Alex Horton and Ellen Nakashima from the Washington Post. And they found that during the
Why does Ireland have two countries instead of becoming one unified nation? In the 12th century, the Kingdom of England began successfully invading Ireland. The English controlled the island through military power over many centuries. By the 16th century,
There were so many Epstein Files connections to Justin Bieber's Yummy video. First, let's talk about how he promoted the song by using a bunch of pictures of babies with the hashtag Yummy, and also wrote Yummy and pizza. And this word Yummy was used like 300 times in these Epstein Files. I haven't seen anybody point this out, but at the end of the video, there's a baby pig on the table. At the start of the video, we see him walking through the kitchen, going to the table with the old rich people as if he's being served. They have very young people as the entertainment. They show this girl, and here's
vegetables with The case of the boy who went missing for 8 years has just had one of the most unbelievably dark twists. So if you've been following the story, after seemingly disappearing while walking his dogs, Rudy was found alive in a bad condition on Thursday. Almost a decade later, slumped outside of a church. His mother said that he was
So the Clintons...
We have some big news right now. U.S. military members now say that they were pressured to see the Melania documentary that was released by the First Lady, saying that they were, quote, scared if they did not see the documentary after being pressured by those on their military bases. This, according to new reporting from Business Insider. This is a significant development. According to Business Insider,
What are you doing?
Trump just keeps making this worse and worse. He admitted he saw the video of Barack and Michelle Obama depicted as apes and didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And furthermore, he will not apologize for having it posted. Well, here we are. Is anyone really surprised? He said this on Air Force One to a group of reporters who asked him about the post, and rightly so. He said that, yes, he saw it and he didn't see anything wrong with depicting Barack Obama, former president of the United States, and former First Lady Michelle Obama.
In the draft are Cooper Flagg and Noah Singh.
Is it possible to view someone else's WhatsApp messages without their knowledge?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so how is that done, and what if I need to do it without having their phone? Can that also be done?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so tell me what I would need and where to get it.
We have some news right now. J.D. Vance, the vice president, and his wife, Usha Vance, were booed today at the Winter Olympics opening ceremony in Italy, despite the fact that, according to the Daily Beast yesterday, the International Olympic Committee essentially told spectators and fans not to...
I don't have a best friend. Truth is, I don't have any close friends, and there are real reasons for this, which I'll get into in this video. If you don't have many close friends, or any at all, there's a good chance you've quietly wondered what's wrong with you. But what if nothing is wrong? What if the real reason you have no close friends is actually a sign you've got standards, experience, and self-respect?
According to an FBI whistleblower, roughly 1,000 FBI agents have been placed on 24-hour shifts and directed to go through the Epstein files and flag any mention of Trump's name. This comes just one day after Trump requested the grand jury transcripts related to the Epstein case be unsealed, meaning that if anything is released, it will likely be scrubbed of any mention of Trump. Democratic Senator Whip...
What do you know?
Yo, Stephen Hawking, right? The most brilliant man in the world. People say, like, one of the most smartest people in the world, right? And he didn't believe in God, right? He didn't believe in, like, afterlife. He was an atheist.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
20.
How
Gen
old,
Z.
Uncle? Gen Z. Uncle Roger, 53.
Oh?
53-year-old now.
53?
Yeah.
53?
Thank you for filming with Grandpa, like...
But, it's not just Democrats. There are Republican senators, Pete Ricketts, others saying, look, we understand it was us, but the president should just come out and apologize for it and say, look, this was a mistake. Sorry if it offended anyone. Why not?
Well, look, I won't get ahead of the president, Laura, and he may be speaking.
White people, we need to talk. I know you saw the images the President of the United States posted.
This is one of the most disturbing videos found in the Epstein files. In the video, Epstein is filming himself very closely. You can see swelling in his mouth and strange, uncontrolled lip movements. At first, the video does not seem shocking. So why did it have such a big impact online? Some internet users...
I don't think people realize it, but today's a really sad day. It's a sad day because of what took place. And around the world, people are in shock. Not just in the United States, but people around the world are viewing that. And
Good evening. Tonight we're witnessing the downfall of Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. This is it. In Parliament, Sir Keir Starmer admitted he knew about Peter Mandelson's continued friendship with the world's most notorious paedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, and he appointed him anyway.
Can the Prime Minister tell us, did the official security vetting he received mention Mandelson's ongoing...
Candace Owens was so right, and people need to apologize.
Claims are being made once again that President Donald Trump is a racist, but here's the truth about the video that Trump shared on Truth Social, wherein there was...
They ate babies. They were eating babies. So let me put this in perspective. The next time that you get a speeding ticket, parking ticket, whatever, you got more punishment than the people who literally ate...
Here's why I do not think Jeffrey Epstein was a spy for Mossad Israeli intelligence. I actually think that he could have been a spy for the Russians. And this is why I think this. Former CIA officer here, I worked at the CIA for 10 years in the National Clandestine Service, so also known as the Director of Operations. Anyway, Jeffrey Epstein, I think, was a Russian spy for these reasons. So I do believe
To Cambodia.
There was a big and noticeable divide between people working on Al-Qaeda and everybody else. Everybody else is just going about their normal business like, there's nothing happening in the world. People working on Al-Qaeda were panic-stricken. I tell this story a lot. I told it in my first book, but it's important in this context. July the 6th, 2001, I remember...
If you can't see it, I've got a few emails in the past year from people in the industry, and I won't say which companies they work for, but all smartphone companies.
The Trump administration's story keeps changing about those 2020 ballots seized in Georgia and why the Director of National Intelligence was even there. There have been no less than 5 different explanations, including one that came today. Now, I'm going to tell you why that matters in a second, but first you need to hear what the president said just yesterday.
I want to ask you about the Epstein files. Have you seen the Epstein files?
I have not reviewed the entirety of it myself, but a good amount.
Would it be fair to say that Mr. Epstein trafficked young...
I don't think crypto is viewed as legitimate within most of the key decision makers of an organization. So there's evangelists like at JP Morgan. Anybody from JP Morgan here? That's my old firm, but I'd say that there's obviously a blockchain team, but like at the
Jake Lang was booked into the Ramsey County Jail yesterday after the 30-year-old posted a video to social media. It showed himself destroying...
Now, you've been a fierce critic of Trump for the past 10 years. What was your immediate reaction when you woke up this morning and saw this video?
Well, to tell you the truth, I was not shocked. I said, this is...
I had an interesting... I thought the pandemic was going to ravage Africa the worst. I won't lie, I was terrified. I was terrified for the African continent. My whole life, I'd seen whenever there was a virus that broke out in the world...
Am I the only one that thought Jeffrey Epstein would sound like an evil mastermind or something? Like, hello, my name is Jeffrey Epstein. But if you watch the new interview that just dropped, he just sounds like a creep. That's it. He's like, hi, I am Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I don't know what...
Another major artist has just canceled their entire 2026 tour.
When you're being released from prison, they give you a paper called a merry-go-round. And all it is, it's a paper with your name and your prisoner ID number, and then it lists all the offices in the prison, and you have to go on your last day, you have to go and get a signature for each one. So one of
My family, my grandparents, we've all been Indian. When you say
Asian women were mentioned in the files many times, but Jeffrey didn't want black women on the island, black girls on the island. And this is because Asian fetish is the funhouse mirror version of misogynoir. It's the same racist, sexist system working through two very different stereotypes. And the fact that all those guys were PDF files has a huge role in this. Asian women, demure, easy to control and manipulate, look very young, small, skinny bodies, allegedly. And then for black women, all the opposite stereotypes. Too loud, too independent, stereotyped to have larger bodies, which these men do not like because they do not represent children. Now, we know that these stereotypes have everything to do with the racist history and nothing to do with reality. But
Of Epstein sex abuse survivors is asking a judge to take down documents the government released Friday because some reveal the names of women who wish to remain anonymous. The Justice Department says it's now working around the clock, in their words, to remove those names. Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane has more on what the Epstein files revealed.
If the Trump administration hoped the release of 3 million pages of the Epstein files would put an end to the story, it's only launched a new chapter. Survivors like Danny Bensky are blasting the Department of Justice for withholding potentially millions of other pages, while also mistakenly releasing images and identities of survivors.
Somebody hacked into my Twitter account 2 weeks ago and took it over. And I did everything I was supposed to do. I reported it to Twitter support. They hacked in, they changed my password, and then they changed my recovery email address to some email address in Brazil. So, can you give...
It's all bullshit. Life is bullshit. We're coming down here to have a human experience in this skin sack called the human body, okay? Apparently, I chose this body. It chose my shitty family. Yeah.
To Cambodia,
We want to turn out of that race.
I want to call out NBC News for censoring the booing of J.D. Vance and Usa Vance tonight in the Olympics in Milan, Italy, because they were booed and it was muted on NBC. But if you go to the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, the Australian Broadcasting Company, or the BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, you can hear the boos. But NBC censored it so you couldn't hear it. They muted it out. And I want to call NBC out for it. Again, guys, this is unfortunate. You already know this, but our news in the United States is censoring what we see and what we hear. If we were to be in Europe right now, what we would be hearing about Epstein would be incredible. And they're not sparing any detail. I mean, all the tea, all the beans are spilled, all of it. Same thing with what occurred with the Olympics tonight, where J.D. Vance and his wife were booed.
I will formally sue Trump, seeking $10 billion in damages, vowing to bankrupt him completely. All of this money will be donated to charity. Trump posted a Photoshop video on real social media showing mine and Michelle's faces.
This is what is happening in the UK right now, and it is so embarrassing. A visit is being authorized to my address because of this. I received this letter and it's rather threatening. It says, an investigation into your property has now begun. Oh, what could it be? What have I done? What have I done? A court appearance could cost you over £1,000. A visit to your property is being authorized. This is because I don't have a TV license.
How does Russia stay a superpower with just one aircraft carrier, while China has 3 and the United States operates 11 of the most advanced carriers? Even that lone aircraft carrier is old generation. So why did...
About 8 weeks ago, I flew to China to investigate why I had such bad stomach pain. They diagnosed me, I got my treatment plan, and then I returned to the UK. And the whole process took about 12 days, and it was a really positive experience. I have been really vocal about how positive it was, how quick it was, how much...
Remember when Aaron Gordon... Donald Trump shared a racist tweet about the Obamas today that even has Republican senators calling him out, but Trump has deleted the tweet finally, and the White House is claiming, oh, it was a staffer who shared the racist tweet. It wasn't Donald Trump. Well, here's 2 things. One...
as I watched the Melania movie last night.
Play you the video.
Play her the fucking video.
Play it.
Hang on.
Haley, why are you so rude and mean today? I don't need this shit. I really don't need this today.
So who is Satoshi Nakamoto? You know, the guy who created Bitcoin, dropped the white paper in 2008, mined the first block in 2009, and then sent his last message in 2011 before vanishing. Well, this is something I've been researching for well over 7 years now, and I think I have a pretty good idea of who it is. But before I just tell you who I think it is, I think it's only...
Too late, but I saw this video.
Look at this. The guy's brain dead. The guy is literally brain dead in public.
There were a lot of people at the Pentagon working on the UFO issue, if only because so many pilots, like almost every pilot in the Air Force and the Navy and the Marine Corps, has had an encounter with a UFO. I don't know if you happen to see, a couple of weeks ago, there was a video that was leaked on Capitol Hill from September of...
Did you guys see someone was messing around on Google Maps and they may have zoomed into somewhere and discovered something they weren't supposed to? So it's at the bottom of the Parco Nacional Alberto, and if you keep scrolling to these exact coordinates, something seems to be hidden in the mountains. And this also alludes to...
Where are you from? Dude, I don't care. I don't care about ICE. I don't care about the protests. I don't care about Venezuela. I literally don't care about any of it anymore. I mean, we're told that we have to care about everything, and that caring about everything makes us a...
My question is for Mr. Dennett. What, sir, if you are...
There's a video circulating right now of a mother and her adult son in a...
Oh my gosh!
You want to know what kind of world we're going to live in soon? Some of these robots are being taught to manufacture themselves. And we know that it's something that's going to happen eventually. They'll fully manufacture themselves. But what's even more scary than that is they're going to run their own upgrades. They run updates, they make advancements all by themselves. It's all run using AI. So these robots that come out in the future, once they've mastered this process, they're going to be brand new robots that we've never seen before, but us humans had nothing to do with.
Physics of guys falling down and then getting yanked back up to their feet.
Remember that video of that woman who was screaming on the plane and she was saying that mother effer isn't real? She was making this big scene and she was escorted off, and then she came out and made a video literally in the same clothes at the airport saying like, oh, I was intoxicated, or basically like...
What are the odds?
Yard signs have officially arrived, and
Do you remember the teenager who claimed he found a doorway out of our reality? His name was Danny, and in 2015...
I can't believe SpongeBob was on the...
Anne Hathaway is in the Epstein files, and it's not just in passing.
According to Google, there's only 90 million cows in the United States. That's what's up, but only 34 to 35 million of those cows is used for meat.
So Xi Jinping is one of the strongest leaders that China has ever seen. He's very much like a Putin. He's very much like a Netanyahu to the Chinese. There are many people who celebrate.
I am not kidding when I tell you that every single day, without question, I have to...
Have you ever heard Jeffrey Epstein?
I'd like to know about your plans to revive the economy. I mean, we talk about how Thailand was once a tiger economy.
1988, to be precise.
And now it's called the sick man of Southeast Asia.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a brand new case officer with zero...
Yo, these are a lot of...
Hey Lynn, can you please make sure I have some muffin batter?
Hi, my name is Lauren, and I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor in...
JD Vance has...
Today, Bill Gates? Mark Zuckerberg? Really strange.
New interviews of Epstein just dropped, and let me just say, he sounds nothing like I expected.
If you were in your 20s today, what would you do?
Leave the country.
Why?
Because it's rubbish. I would leg it.
Leg it?
Yeah.
Leave this country.
Sweden is so perfect it makes every other country jealous. This Scandinavian nation sits in northern Europe, sharing borders with Norway to the west and Finland to to the east. A bridge connects it to Denmark in the south. The Baltic Sea wraps...
Check out this poem, I believe, written by Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know technically who wrote this, but it is so disturbing. So it says, Nelson hires a clown for his kid's 7th birthday party. The clown gets up in front of the kids, puts his hand in his pocket and says, if any of yous can guess what I got in my pocket, you win a prize. A kid in the front says, is it candy, mister? The clown says, no, it ain't candy. Another kid says, is it money, mister? The clown says, no, it ain't money either. Another kid says, well, what is it then? The clown says, it's my cock. Nelson grabs the clown, drags him into the kitchen and says, what the hell was that? These kids are 7 years old. The clown says, I'm sorry, all right? I'm really hungover and by accident I went into my nightclub act. Don't worry, I got it together now. Nelson says, you better or I'll call the police. Now get back in there and entertain those kids. They all love you. The clown gets back up in front of the kids and says, okay, kids, let's start all over again. If any of yous can guess what I got in my pocket, you win a prize. A kid says, is it candy, mister? The clown says, no, it ain't candy. Another kid says, is it money, mister? The clown says, no, it ain't money either. Another kid says, well, what is it then? The clown looks over at Nelson.
We have some news right now. An Epstein survivor who previously supported Donald Trump has now come out in favor of his impeachment. Haley Robson just appeared on Pamela Brown's show on CNN, where she was asked about how she feels following the hectic and the major cover-up that's being happening in the Department of Justice over the...
That is one of the smartest questions that I've received in a long time. You are 100% right. So let's break it down. So Reza Pahlavi is the son of the Shah of Iran. 611.
So Mr. E, he's not...
This is America, or the Americas, and this is the United States.
Once you guys hear what Kamala Harris says in this interview about AirPods, honestly, you'll never want to wear them again, especially when you hear...
Do you want to know who is Elon Musk's best friend? It's Peter Thiel. Yeah, I can't even make this up. They almost died together. And it's not even that. It's not even their best friend. Peter Thiel is Elon Musk's mentor. Anyways.
Here's why archaeologists are too scared to open the tomb of China's first emperor. Despite discovering this site almost 40 years ago and exploring the majority of it, no one has seen inside the actual tomb for over 2,000 years since the
He was like, if you haven't had a U.S. government agent come to you and say, stop, shut the fuck up, stop, shut the fuck up, if that hasn't happened, they're gonna let you do it. They're waiting.
Holy shit, guys. Are we looking at a alien reproduction vehicle on this video right here? This footage was recorded in Brazil, December 25th, 2025. If you ask me, this is an amazing...
We had 3 House Republican candidates who were ahead on election day in the last election cycle. And every time a new tranche of ballots came in, they just magically whittled away until their leads were lost. In no series of ballots that were counted after election day were our candidates.
This was taken in Tel Aviv 6 hours ago. You just signed up here, and this guy looks awfully familiar walking around with armed security guard. Yeah, looks like the guy that's been in the news lately, right? Slap a beard, long hair, and some glasses on him so that nobody would recognize him. And if you don't believe me, I'll give you some proof. This was released by CBS News today. A blurry orange
The thing with shutting your phone off that is a risk is, how do you know your phone's actually turned off? It used to be, when I was in Geneva, for example, working for the CIA, we would all carry like drug dealer phones.
In this video coming out of Maine, an ICE agent admits on camera that their current directive is to target legal immigrants. He claims the reason they're targeting these lawfully present people is for efficiency purposes. I wish I was making this up. Take a look.
Like, she's legal. Like, she has a war permit. Yeah, but that's technically legal. So anybody who has a penny...
We're hearing that the United States is preparing for Iranian military action, retaliatory attacks, as a result of the U.S. preparing to attack Iran. And we're hearing that the negotiations taking place tomorrow, Friday, they're likely going to fail. Take a look at the latest headlines with me so you can see it for yourself.
I have to be careful with my language here. I applied. My name is in the system. I have very, very high level
supporters who have approached him personally for years.
We're 5 million nurses short in the United States. As a result of using AI to do the charting and the transcription of the patient visits, nurses spend half of their time charting. And now they could use AI technology, and one particular company, Abridge, their a partner of ours, doing incredible work. As a result of that, the nurses could spend more time.
That's one of the central plot points of the three body problem, right?
My favorite book,
It's the fact that these aliens are so scared of us because within, like, 400 years ago was Newton. 100 years after that was Maxwell's equations and electromagnetism. And we got into the atom, quantum mechanics, general relativity. I think we split the atom, like, what, 40 years?
Imagine you're best friends with a millionaire, but when he suddenly dies, you decide to take over his identity and steal his money. But as you're pretending to be him and living his life, you discover a horrifying secret about what your friend truly does for a living and why he has so much money. You thought your friend was a private...
Which intelligence agencies are the most powerful? Most people think only the CIA leads global
Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are having the biggest meltdown they've ever had in history. Let me tell you why I'm not concerned. Number one, I've been in this industry for 11 years and I've seen these ups and downs. I've been at points where I'm like, wow, I cannot believe how bad it's gotten. But I've also seen those times where I look and go, wow, I'm glad I held because I'm up 13x my...
Is China trying to pop the AI bubble in America? The AI war isn't about models anymore. It's about ecosystem.
So right now there is a conspiracy theory going around trying to say that Jeffrey Epstein and all of the pedophiles listed in those files somehow had a prion disease called Kuru, and that's what caused them to do what they did. And it's mostly being spread by this creator.
This is what happens when a schizophrenic artist stops taking his medication. Brian Charlie was an artist living with schizophrenia. One day, he made a decision that would change everything.
When Jimmy Carter was in Spain at a dinner,
Wangwana, Mambo, they were busy treating doubt. Wangwana.
The Trump administration's story keeps changing about those 2020 back.
If you want to understand the world properly,
As recently as the 1970s, Afghanistan was a net food exporter. There's not very much land there that's arable. There's not very much water, but the arable land that they have, they made very good use of. And they could feed themselves and export rice to Pakistan and Iran. So that's pretty good. Yeah. For a country that's, 90% mountains. Yep. After the Taliban were overthrown, they converted all their food production.
No, we will not get another warning to get out as the photo.
Call him a racist or to imply that he is one based on that video is very disingenuous and lacking context.
Well, too bad. Because let me tell you something. If you don't want somebody to call you that...
If you don't believe in aliens, I'm going to change your mind. I have all my information in front of me. I'm going to include clips. This video is going to mainly be about all the whistleblowers, all the government officials who have come forward about this shit. Okay, let's get started. All right, we'll start out with Mr. David Grush. He served 14 years as an intelligence officer in the U.S. Air Force, and his rank was major. He was the first person to legally file a whistleblower complaint regarding secret UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs. Okay, I was literally getting my hair done, and I was reading almost every single comment. I didn't expect, it's low-key getting a little bit bigger than I expected. If you don't believe in aliens, I'm going to change your mind. If you...
J.D. Vance decided it would be a good idea for him to go to the Winter Olympic opening ceremony.
An experience that made me wake the fuck up was traveling with a black person. Now, I travel alone for work a lot, right? And I've never faced a problem. And I'm talking about internationally. Like, I've been to Paris, to Italy, to Switzerland, blah, 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 all over Europe. And I've never had a problem because I look white as fuck. I blend in. I blend the fuck in. Everybody's mad nice to me. And then I traveled with one of my black coworkers, and it was a completely different fucking experience. All right, I'm talking about, like, they act like we don't belong. And the treatment was also towards me because, like, she was with me. Like, oh, she has a black friend. They must be fucking hoodlums together. Like, one lady fucking at the hotel, like, we were looking for water, and she's over here like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean what the fuck I'm doing? I'm looking for water. Water's only for guests. But I'm a fucking guest. What room number? And I gave her my room number, and I'm a fucking diamond member at the Hilton, motherfucker. And she got scared. Right? And then another restaurant, they hit us behind a fucking pool. And I'm like, yo, do you notice this? Like, why the fuck are we, like, in this fucking corner behind a pool? And she was like, because I'm black. God forbid a black person is eating at the restaurants and people fucking see. She's like, I'm so used to this. Europe is so fucking racist. And I'm like, but so is America. So is everywhere. Even fucking Africa. It's fucking sad. It's fucking sad. And it really woke me up. I'm like, fuck. This is fucking sad.
This isn't Chinese food. It's Filipino fast food. I only came here for this, ended up getting this. That fatty, crispy lechon. And they had 2 different types of pork sausage, well done and regular. Glazed sweet, it's hardened inside, kind of like it's been cured for a while. Both delicious. And if you think I'm coming to a Filipino spot and not getting the lumpia, my goodness. And look at their chicken adobo. So a plate like this goes for about $20, but for an additional $10, I'm trying the fried tilapia. And these are supposed to be the best turon in the city. A thin, crispy, caramelized glass shell. And on the inside, warm banana. Probably the best dessert I've had this year. This is all from a spot called Chaste Family Market. Probably the best lunch I've had this year. Lunch score 9.3.
On October 12th, 2025, a piece of content was uploaded to YouTube that honestly looks like nothing I've ever seen before. It was posted by a creator called Adventure Marksman, a YouTuber who usually sticks to calm, educational forest content. Most of his videos are about hunting, tracking, and respecting nature. Nothing sensational. But what he captured on this elk hunting trip with his wife is deeply unsettling.
Holy shit.
After letting out a playful screech toward his wife, he suddenly gets a response from the woods. Not an echo. Not wind. Something responds back. The sound comes in waves, almost like it's answering him. And the more you listen, the harder it is to explain. It doesn't sound like any animal I know of, and it definitely doesn't sound random. Still, he keeps moving, not wanting to make too much of it. But that's when it comes back again. And this time, it feels different.
Last week, President Trump said, quote, "We have the groceries going down." Did grocery prices drop in 2025?
Numerous prices have.
Did grocery prices drop in 2025?
Numerous grocery prices have gone down.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you can't hear me. Did grocery prices drop in 2025?
Numerous grocery prices have gone down. And in fact, we have seen inflation at 2.1% for the past 3 months.
Have you seen the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is Donald Trump's own Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers, that report that grocery prices were 2.4% higher at the end of 2025 than they were at the end of 2024. So if you're just going to insult people by denying the facts that are out there and tell people they're doing great when they're struggling, I think that's just another way to say you don't have a plan to bring down these prices.
This bird domesticated humans. What does that even mean? Awesome question. This little bird is native to Africa and it's called the honey guide. Despite its name, it doesn't actually eat honey, but it does eat bees' wax and larvae. But this bird has a bit of a problem. It's so small that getting stung by a bunch of bees could be fatal. So it developed a form of rudimentary tool usage in order to break into the hives. The tool it found was humans. The honey guide is really good at finding hives, and humans are really good at getting into them. So humans and this bird developed a symbiotic relationship that works like this. A honey guide will perch on a branch and make a unique chattering call to get a human's attention. Then it'll fly ahead, make the call again, and wait for the person to follow. They continue doing this until they reach a beehive, at which point humans are able to access the hive using smoke and tools. Humans get first dibs on the honey, and the wax and larvae left behind go to their honey guide. But here's the most amazing part of this whole thing. Some believe that this relationship is absolutely ancient. The sound that a honey guide makes when leading a human to honey is not used for anything else. And the humans that live alongside them have an entirely different sound that they can make in order to call the birds to them. This indicates that this is a highly developed relationship, some suggesting that it dates back more than 100,000 years, and others believing that this relationship may have begun with our ancient ancestors Homo erectus. It's one of the most ancient and unique relationships we have with any animal and is still practiced to this day. No doom scrolling right now makes you feel like the world is just a horrible place, but hopefully this made it a little bit brighter. If you want more nice little things like this to interrupt the horrors in the future, sauce me a follow so you don't lose me. Send this to a friend that you domesticate.
គ្នាយើងប្រហែលជាឆ្ងល់ហើយមែនទេហេតុអីបានជាគ្រូឲ្យរៀនពួកអា3នឹងមុនមិនថាយើងនៅចំណុចណាក៏ដោយឲ្យតែមានអារម្មណ៍ថាទេអង់គ្លេសវាបញ្ហារោដំណោះស្រាយអត់ចេញត្រូវទៅរៀនអា3នឹងមុនហើយរៀនមិនមែនចិត្តទៅរៀនរៀនឲ្យដឹងឲ្យបាន90ទៅ80% ព្រោះអីដើម្បីកុំឲ្យយើងត្រឡប់មករៀនវាទៀតហើយនឹងជួយសម្រួលឲ្យមេរៀនយើងរៀនយូរៗទៅវាកាន់តែស្រួលហេតុអីហើយមួយទៀតគ្រូតែប្រាប់ថាកុំបដិអង់គ្លេសខ្មែរសោះតែបើសិនជាយើងប្រៀបធៀបបានតែកុំបដិអសោះហេតុអីឥឡូវនេះអានេះមួយការអាននេះផាស៊ីទាំង8មានយើងដឹងថាមានអីខ្លះការទាំង12ការអាននិងការប្រកបមួយទៀតគឺការបញ្ចេញសលេងប៉ុន្តែអត់អីទេមុននឹងយើងចេះបញ្ចេញសលេងយើងត្រូវដឹងថាគេប្រកបមិនហើយតួអក្សរមួយវាសលេងវាបែបណាដូចអ្នកដែលរៀនជាមួយគ្រូក្នុង Telegram ដឹងហើយបើសិនជាគ្រូសួរថាអក្សរ G អក្សរ T អក្សរ C អក្សរ S អក្សរ H ពួកនឹងសលេងបានហើយសលេងវាដូចនៅពេលណាបើសិនជាទាំងអស់គ្នាដឹងអូខេអាហ្នឹងអាចថាល្មមមកចេះហើយប៉ុន្តែបើថាអត់ដឹងទេអាហ្នឹងត្រូវភាសាថ្មី
On the morning of December 11th, 1960, a 27-year-old man named Leonid...
Okay, this is some interesting...
So an Israeli billionaire died during a penis enlargement procedure. This is not a joke. There's no...
Trump telling the American people the Epstein files are done. Stop talking about it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
There's nothing to see here, is what they have continued to say.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. You know, now that nothing came out about me.
He's sitting there saying, let's just move on. There's nothing to see or nothing.
We have breaking.
China has just removed almost its
On 24th January, Central